and we are excited for the first ever NLL 6's fantasy draft. In the spirit of the PLL 6's tournament that was held last weekend, we are going to roll with our own fantasy tournament that is basically going to be where the concept is the NLL is taking an all-star break this coming weekend, and our 4 GMs are selecting rosters for this. Welcome back to ITWOBL. We have 4 GMs. We can only see 2 of us, but Chris Rosenthall is here. Rosie.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
There we go. Adam Levy.
Yes, I am here.
Yes. There we go. We're just having some issues, but we're good to go. So as we mentioned, it is a fantasy NLL 6's draft in the spirit of the PLL 6's tournament from last weekend and in the spirit of the 4 Nations face-off. We will be doing something similar. We will be drafting teams who are using World Lacrosse rules. So it will be 12 players per team, and we will do a snaking draft order soon to be drawn from the Vessel of Destiny. And we are about to get started. Each GM will have 1 minute per selection. You don't have to use the whole minute, but we will have 1 minute. And as said in the group email, chirping of other GMs, strongly encouraged. Now, I'm going to turn to my lovely and talented assistant and wife, Carrie McMaster, to select the first name for the first pick from the Vessel of Destiny.
Okay, I'm excited.
With the 4 and 5 picks, yeah, Sue's good. Third will be Dan. And fourth, I'm going to just pull this one out because I know who's left. That's Chris. So Rosie gets the coveted 4/5 spot. So the order will go Stephen, Adam, Dan, Chris, Chris, Dan, Adam, Stephen, Stephen, Adam, Dan, Chris, Chris, Dan, Adam, Stephen, as such. So Greg Beecher is our moderator with Blue Squatch Productions. And Greg, you are going to be putting up the teams. And we will have a 60-second timer up here for each pick. Greg, you let me know when we're ready to roll, and I'm ready with my first pick. Okay, I'm not going to take long. I have prepared for this. Because I am picking first, I am going to go with a goaltender to start things off, and I'm going to take Brett Dobson.
Wow, going with a goalie.
First. Well, yeah, because there's not many goalies. That's one big thing, right? There's not a lot of goalies available in the NLL that play the field game. There are, I think, 4 fairly obvious choices to me. There are a few others who are Tufla All-Canadians, like Thomas Kaiser, Connor O'Toole, and Cam McLeod. But I think Brett Dobson, I think, is the best field goalie in the world right now, so I'm going to take him to start my team. And who's up now? Adam.
Okay, Stamper. I am up now. I am going to go with Zach Courier on this one, mostly just because super fast, super athletic, very talented. I think he would be a big asset to any team.
Agreed. That's a great pick. See, that's why I wasn't sure I wanted one, because I mean, I'm happy to get Dobson, but I would have been happy with any goalie. But anyway, we will go on to Dan Arestia with his first pick in the draft.
You guys are going goalie. You're going transition. Give me Josh Byrne with my first pick. Give me offense. Give me goals. We're playing 6's. I need a weapon. I need somebody who can score from anywhere. So I am going with Josh Byrne as my first pick.
That's a pretty good pick.
Thrown off by the goalie pick early.
Really?
But I am actually going to kind of trail that wake. I'm taking Dane Smith to start things off. Trust him with the ball. I need somebody who can distribute and score quickly. So I'm going with old Dane to start. And let's see here. So that's the end of the first round. Off the second round. You know what? Why don't you give me Jeff Teat?
I was going to go with that.
He knows how to score, as we've seen. Just barely in the top 20 this year, but I am not at all concerned by it. You're going to put him on the field with all-stars, and he'll be just fine.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of variation from the norm here. Those are the tops of my list as well. We're going to get some interesting stuff soon. Maybe when Dan makes his second-round pick right now.
I think it's a major upset that we made 5 picks before somebody said the name Jeff Teat. Like that's pretty wild of a draft we're having here. I think I am going to grab a quality defender transition player at this point. I'm going to take Ryan Terefenko with my next pick. I like somebody who is offensive minded, who has the wheels to get up and down, is I think the fastest player drafted so far. I think you've seen him in the indoor season this year emerge as a serious, much more of a goal scorer and much more of a threat in transition. And, he's obviously incredible off the ground and everything, and he can cover as well as anybody. So he's a good, if I can't have Zach Currier, I'm going to take Ryan Terefenko.
And I'm going to follow Dan up, and I'm actually going to take my first offensive player and go with Tom Schreiber. I need some goals, as Dan was alluding to, and I love Tom, and he's just so capable. Captain America is joining my team.
Okay. In the words of the great Job Bluth, I think I've made a huge mistake. I'm happy to have Brett Dobson, but I really was hoping I'd get one of those goal scorers. And now I'm looking at my list and being like, oh my gosh, who's my guy? But you know what? I think a lot of this is going to be won. There's a handful of guys that are still great scorers. I think this is going to be won in large part in the middle of the field, up and down, a grinder, a guy with all kinds of size and skill and speed and talent. I am going to take Owen Grant.
I was between OG and Terefenko with my pick there.
Yeah,
I
can't have those two.
I like the Owen Grant pick. Yeah.
So I am back on the clock, and so I'm not going to take another grinder. You know what? I am going to go with. I think Clark Peterson is a weapon in 6's, and I'm going to take Clark Peterson.
Right. That's a lot of love for Clark Peterson. There's a lot of weapons out there other than Clark Peterson.
That's true.
You're making the move to Peterson.
Yeah.
I was wondering when he would go, because in the outdoor game you don't see as much of him. In the indoor game, obviously you see that he's great. So we haven't seen a ton of him playing 6's, I don't think. So
he played for Canada in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, he played in Birmingham with the greatest 6's team ever assembled.
Yeah. And I thought he was central to what they did.
Yeah.
So if I can't have Currier and I can't have Byrne, I'm getting Peterson. So Adam.
I'm going to go with a guy who is, again, one of those guys who can play defense. He's feisty, and he's definitely picked up the scoring, particularly in the NLL. I'm going to go with Ian McKay. I love a heart and soul guy like Ian. You love what he brings to the table every single game, both in the PLL and the NLL. So he's my pick.
Yeah, I was waffling between Grant and McKay for mine. I went with Grant. I'm thrilled with it, but yeah, no, McKay's a great pick. He has just been unbelievable this year. Dan.
I'm going to go back to the offensive side of things. I think the third round of any draft this player is in is the latest he will ever go. Give me Lyle Thompson. I'm going to take, again, like Josh, it's like, I know you guys are taking defenders, but there aren't too many people in a 6's format who are able to guard somebody like Lyle Thompson in the amount of space that you're afforded in a 6's format. He can get a shot off anyway in the world. He's one of the best offensive players the game has ever seen. Feels like a no-brainer to grab Lyle Thompson this late.
Yeah, I should have taken Lyle. Peterson, but that's a good thing. I kind of put this whole thing together. I thought it was Adam's idea, and I kind of ran with it and put it all together. And I am just kind of okay. I've got Brett Dobson, Owen Grant, and Clark Peterson. I'm pretty happy, but I also feel like I'm kind of I don't know, messing up. Chris, you're up with a couple of picks.
Yeah. So I mean, there's so much talent that I feel like everybody, you're like, oh, wish I'd had that guy.
Which is a good sign, right?
That being said, I'm gonna go for another offensively creative large gentleman. Go ahead and put Brennan O'Neill on my team, please.
Damn it. Damn, that was gonna be my next pick.
I think everybody was trying to wait out Brennan O'Neill for a while as like the, more of like the all-star guys who have been in the NLL longer got picked, and then Brennan kind of sneaks in there late, but good for Rosie to grab him now.
Yeah. I'm just going to interject with a quick question here for you, Dan. Obviously, with the development of Brennan in the NLL and how he's shown he can adapt there, I mean, how beneficial is that going to be for the PLL and 6's going forward?
I think Brennan's game, you've seen, I think he's scored the goal of the year in the NLL this year. I'm waiting to see somebody dethrone that diving goal. I think the more he learns indoors, you can see his growth like every week. But like he's obviously great when there's space for him to isolate one-on-one. Whatever format you put him in, he's going to be dominant doing that. But the way he plays through two-mans and the way he has started to, you see it every week, like the way he moves when he is a picker or when he is kind of slipping off of a pick indoors, he gets smarter and smarter with it every week. And I think like that Denver Outlaws team is going to be a bear because it's like he's going to have the ball and be dominant. And then when he doesn't have the ball, he's going to be even more of a weapon than he used to be.
We are moving on. Chris, you just took one person, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're starting round 4.
Yep, starting off round 4. I've gone heavy offense early. Let me go ahead and grab Latrell Harris this round here.
Yeah.
You know, not that I'm concerned about my defensive abilities thus far. I do kind of want somebody who's more of an active role on that side of the ball.
Love it.
I'm going to make a pick because I'm concerned he might not be there if I wait. So I'm going to take somebody who could play field for me, but he's going to play in goal for me. Give me Blaze Reardon with my next pick. I got my goalie. Already a Team USA goalie. Already one of the best ever to do it. So give me Blaze for this format.
I really thought the goalies were going to go earlier because there aren't many, right? And you got like a few that are clearly the world's guys. So I was a little surprised, but yeah, when you see the next goalie go and Adam is up, will he follow the trend?
No, I'm gonna hold off nervously, and I'm gonna pick Zed Williams with my next pick. Oh, is he off?
He is off. He's on the injured reserve. Sorry, we should have gone over that. This is active roster players. Zed Williams was just added to the injured reserve list for Colorado. So sorry, Zed is out, as is Michael Stowers.
So then what I will do is I'm going to go with Westberg. I love Wes. I'm going to stick away from the offense for a couple more picks, I think, going now, like exclusive offensive guys. But Westberg is going to be my pick for this round.
All right, that puts. Is that me?
That's you.
Okay.
You got 2 picks here.
I am going to go offense, big time, and I'm going to select the man who will be the leading goal scorer in this tournament. He is an athletic freak. He is maybe the only guy who's harder to cover one-on-one than Lyle Thompson. I am taking Curtis Dixon. He's going to fill it up. I'm telling you, he's going to score 1 million goals in this tournament.
Yeah, I had Dixon as one of my next offensive guys on my list to take.
Yeah. And then I am going to take, and I'm actually pretty stoked that he's still available for me here. I'm going to take Challen Rogers, who will do everything on the field for me. And I'm actually feeling quite a bit better about my team now.
Adding Challen Rogers will do that for sure.
I had a note next to Challen Rogers here that also literally just. So I'm on board with that pick.
Sorry, literally what?
We'll do everything.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah, good luck, guys, going up against Owen Grant and Challen Rogers, who are going to strip you. And I will make a note while we wait for Adam to get ready for his next pick that I thought the key in Birmingham at the World Games 6's was that the Canadian team figured out how to play 6's defense. And I thought that was huge, both the men and the women. I think Brooklyn Walker-Welch was probably the best or most important player in the women's tournament. And I thought some of the guys like Courier and some of the guys playing D in the men's were crucial.
You know, Stamper, I am going to go with. Give me Rylan Reese.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
He is a Nighthawk.
Is.
Half of the lacrosse power couple.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of many lacrosse power couples, but he's half
So
one.
does that mean I get Kylie O'Miller as well as a substitute?
Assistant coach.
Yeah. All right, look, I got my goalie. I'm just gonna keep taking weapons. Give me Connor Fields. And I'm just gonna try and win games 30-20.
You mean 30-28?
Yeah, 30-28. Taravenko's got his work cut out for him, and Blaze, you're gonna see a lot of rubber, but I'm gonna score a ton of goals, baby.
Right. Brian, you're going to play defense against everyone. You're going to be 1 on 5D, and you then have to get the ball and go up and score 6 goals. So that gets us to Dan.
I just picked.
You just picked.
I just picked Connor Fields.
That's an excellent point. That gets us to Rosie.
Yes, sir. I am on the board here, and I am going to grab kind of a defensive anchor, and that is going to be from the Halifax, from Hasek. Feel like I need kind of one to get in there and push everyone around a little bit. Don't need a ton of
You know
defense.
the interesting thing, I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't think you need it. I do want a couple guys to kind of anchor all the shots down there.
I'll admit, when I first watched that first international 6's competition and Graham Hossack was playing for Canada and he just kept getting penalties, my first thought was, if Graham Hossack can't play 6's, I don't want to watch it. But I've come around, I've warmed up, and I do like the format, but I think my concern with Hossack is, how is the reffing going to go? Are they just going to keep giving him penalties when he's just big and strong?
I was hoping to get Hasek on the way back here. I should have known that Rosie was going to draft one of his birds, though. That's a bad job. That's a bad job by me.
Rosie, you got another one coming too.
Yes, sir. And with this one, I am going to go. You know what? I was kind of looking at this guy, not sure how much longer he'll be on the board. I really want to see Jack Hanna on my team. Creative. He's not afraid to shoot. I need some opportunity at every corner. So, yeah, go ahead and toss Jack Hanna on my team.
The highlight reel machine.
Yeah,
Jack is probably going to challenge Brendan O'Neill's goal of the year, right?
If anyone's going to do it, he will.
Yeah.
So it's me now.
No, it's me.
No, let Dan go ahead and have this
Dan.
pick.
No, don't say. I need to take a defender before this gets any worse.
Oh no.
I am going to take Danny Logan as my defender here. I love Danny in the outdoor game. I think he's excellent indoors. I think physically and as a cover, like one-on-one cover guy, he's as good as anybody in the world. Particularly in space and where there's going to be more room than you would see in the NLL, but out on the 6's field. I think you watch him play outdoors and he can cover attackmen by himself. So I'm going to go with Danny Logan to build the defense a little bit with an American defensive group here of Terefenko and Danny Logan.
There you go. Adam, you can pick now.
Amazing. Good. So I am going to go with another guy who is very versatile, but can play some great defense, very physical. I'm going to
jump in quick, Adam, on you. Sorry. Who was your last pick? Because we were making cards in the background. Charity made them all. I just got to drop them where they go. Did you have Curtis Dixon?
No, I did.
Okay. So who was yours, Adam?
Adam took Ryland Reese.
Ryland Reese.
He should have 5 already, though. Not.
He's got 5.
4. Who else?
He's got Courier, Schreiber, McKay, Westberg, and Ryland Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Westberg, and I had to add Reese.
And now.
Okay, Adam.
Yep. And now I am adding Reed Bowring to my team.
Okay. Reed Bowering off the board. And we're coming to me. Okay. There's still so much talent. This is crazy.
I know. I've got names I'm looking at on this. Like, am I the only one who wrote this name down, or are we all just waiting this out?
I am going to continue to build from the back end with guys who are also great finishers, and I will take Connor Kirst.
Kirst was a guy on my list too.
Yeah, and then how am I doing? I got to keep track of my righties and lefties here. I don't want to get all unbalanced, which I am starting to do. So I'm going to go back to my lefty list, and I will take Dyson Williams. Which has been met with a round of silence.
No, it's like I like Dyson too. It's it's with the rookies in the NLL. It's like if you're making your list for this and you just start with like sort by points, you're not going to see those guys for a while. But that's also makes it a bad way to do this because Dyson Williams is like of course, going to be a player like at the Olympics and in 6's and everything. He's a superstar. So it's like he's down the list, but he shouldn't be. You know what I mean? So it's like you see his name and you're like, oh man, did I screw up by not having him taken already?
And I'm wondering, did I screw up? But I think he's going to fill it up. I think he'll load it up. I mean, especially because everyone's going to be trying to cover Curtis Dixon after he gets 5 or 6 in the first game, right? So, so I've started round 7 with Dyson Williams, and we are back to Adam Levy.
All right, I feel like I'm missing one of Adam. Sorry. So who was it?
I want Danny Logan's on my team.
Okay, so get rid of Danny Logan. I should have it all caught up after. Oh, no, I'll do that. Get rid of the background.
Danny Logan goes to me. Adam's other players are Ryland Reese and Reed Bowering.
Ryland Reese and Reed Bowering. That was I put Bowering on the wrong team.
Reese in Rochester and Bowering with Vancouver.
All right, so we had Ryland Reese.
We'll just be on pause for a moment while we get that over. Okay, once Reese is there, you can be getting Bowering while Adam prepares for his pick.
Yeah, you know what? Give me a guy who can get the ball to a lot of my scorers, and I'm going to go with Jesse King here.
He can shoot a little too, eh?
Yeah.
He can shoot a little too.
All right, so now we're on to Dan, and you had Reed Bowering.
My last pick is Danny Logan.
So let me get him put in there, and then we'll be good to go. And you can start picking your next guy.
You should have 6. So who's missing from yours?
Danny Logan there's a blank card at the bottom, but his name.
Yeah,
should be on
but then you should have somebody else too, right?
That's who I'm picking now.
No, but there's only there's 6 there. Oh my God, there's 6 there.
There's 6 there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm struggling enough, Stamper. I don't need any help.
Sorry.
Going back to the offense, give me Randy Stotts. Give me Randy Stotts. This feels maybe I'm crazy, but that feels late for Randy Stotts.
You know what? I didn't even have him on the list somehow, and that is ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
We are the 7th player I'm taking is Randy Stotts, which I mean, like, oof, boy, oh boy. Either we all missed something, or I was like, is he hurt? Did I get this wrong? But yeah,
no.
Randy's an obvious choice for this. Again, a guy who's played field, guy who's played 6's, guy who's been awesome at it. I think he's an obvious choice. So my offense is shaping up nicely here.
What a great season he's having too.
Yeah. He's having a wonderful season with Halifax.
Yeah, and I had him sitting up there, and after I didn't hear his name after like the 3rd, I was like, oh, maybe I can wait a little bit.
Waited too long.
Yeah, I thought maybe like it was a legs issue. You guys were passing him up on the scout or something like that. Well, shit. That being said, I am kind of you know who I really want to add on my team? Let me get Connor Kelly and put him in my lineup. Obviously got the experience. I think he can dodge and shoot. We've seen him doing it for years, so I think he will contribute nicely on my offensive side.
Scoring a gazillion goals this year too.
Yep.
We're making his, and I'll reset your timer for the night.
It's my go, right, guys?
Nope, not even close.
It's Rosie's second pick.
But you can just keep asking that. At some point, it will be, or maybe we'll screw up and be like, "Yeah, go ahead, Adam, have a pick."
I'll take whatever I can get.
All right, so I'm good to go now.
You are.
Okay. I'm gonna stop waiting on this, and I'm gonna in goal for me.
Sorry, who?
Dylan Ward.
Okay, there you go.
There's our 3rd goalie.
So here's an interesting one with basically 4. Well, I know it's going to be down with 4 guys who have international 6's and field experience. Does somebody be spiteful and take kind of the 4th veteran guy and not let Adam have a goalie? Do we just shut Adam out and make all our games 35-25? We'll see. Dan, you're up.
I feel like I want to go a little more defense now. I want to get a little meaner. Give me I'm going to take Mike Messenger here. Give me Mess for a little bit of a mean streak on this team.
Saskatchewan Rush.
I want to add a couple more defenders. I want to add some more guys who are maybe takeaway kind of guys, or guys who can do decent with the cause turnover numbers, guys who can run transition. I think, Mess is good at that kind of stuff. And then, again, like you're going to want somebody who can mix it up, who can play a physical game. And I feel like I'm getting good at that end of the field now.
Yeah, Messenger. I mean, the putting the shoulder down into guys, right, when he's running in transition, he's so powerful. Did you see last weekend? Who was it? Somebody came off the bench. Messenger was running in transition. Somebody came and knocked him down.
I don't think I saw it, but I believe it as you describe it.
It was unbelievable. I was like, "Holy cow! How did you win that?" I got to find that because, well, at some point, because that guy deserves props. They were playing Calgary. It was Bennett Smith.
And he knocked him down?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable. Adam, guess whose turn it is?
I'm gonna guess that it is my turn, and give me Jake Boudreau. Gonna keep building those transition players. He's really come alive. This year in the National Lacrosse League, he's just a budding talent. I love what he brings. Again, also some gritty play as well. I'm building a tough team of tough guys who maybe won't be scoring as much as I'd like, but at least they'll be giving it 100%.
Yeah, Boudreau is probably going to be my next guy because I'm still a little low on lefties. I am going to take. I like this. Yeah, I'm going to diverge my list a bit and take. I'm going to have a great two-way team. This is a guy who can absolutely fill it up. He's played for Canada, a little underrated, I think. I'm going to take Brian Cole.
Mm-hmm.
I had Brian Cole on my list too.
Yeah, he is really something. He's been with Canada for the last 2 indoor world championships. I mean, he's a great outdoor player. And I mean, with Georgia, is he a forward? Is he a defender? Is he a transition? You never know. He can do it all. That's what we want, right?
He's the owner of one of the more ridiculous statistical seasons from back in the NLL days, because he had a year where I think from the midfield he shot 50% on the season. It was something like that. He shot like 40, 50%, some absurd number from the midfield, and then had a ton of points. And it was like, he had an unreal season with I think it was with the Atlanta Blaze.
Yeah, there's
up again. Go ahead.
First year they had the split, the NLL and PLL split. We wrote an article that was basically saying, Brian Cole is the best midfielder in the world right now, and people did not take kindly to that. They disagreed, but they were wrong.
They were wrong.
I am going to take, for my other pick, as we start round 9, we're getting close here. I am going to take Trey Leclerc.
Trey Leclerc is a great pick.
Thank you. Yeah, I think, so talented. Again, a guy who's played offense in the NLL, who's played defense, who can do it all. Great at Ohio State, and I will not say the Ohio State because I don't even get it. But there's a bunch. And the thing is, we're getting into our 9th round, and there's so much talent left on the board.
I know.
I've probably got about 40 guys left that I'd be like, I'd be pretty happy with him on my team.
Trey was a righty shooting attackman at Ohio State, and outdoors in the pro league, he has become a two-way midfielder. Like, kind of tells you what kind of player he is.
So many guys like that. Rogers and Messenger were both D-tranny guys in junior, attack in field, and again, D-tranny in the pro game, although Rogers has bounced everywhere. And Messenger's also played some forward and played defense, so you can't argue with any of those guys. And whose turn is it now? Adam, do you have any idea?
For me, let's take, who do we got here? I am going to go with, you know what? How much time do I have left? 30 seconds. Give me Tehoka Nanticoke.
Right.
I was wondering when Tehoka would go.
Just for all the listeners, it is Tehoka. No matter what they say, as Rosie was saying, people were saying they were wrong that Cole was that Cole wasn't the best midfielder, but they were wrong. Well, you guys are wrong with the Tehoka thing. It's Tehoka. Sorry, I'm a stickler for pronunciation.
I'm going to go back to the offense, but to grab another weapon here. I'm going to take Joe Rezateritz. Give me Joe Rez. Keep my my righty side coming together here. And again, like a good pass first player, just an outright great scorer. I think he's second in the NLL in points right now. But I'm looking for guys on the offensive end where you look at them and you say, as a one-on-one, I don't know if we can get it done. We were going to need help defense for that guy. And if I put an entire offense of those guys on the field, then I'm feeling pretty good about where I am. And I feel like that's what's starting to come together for me here.
I'm starting to feel glad that I've got Grant Rogers cursed Cole so we can try to cover you.
On that note, since I'm up here, speaking on cover guys, I have been leaning more heavily off and try to grab somebody else who can kind of push the defensive side. So, give me another Hasek. I will take Matt Hasek with my pick here. I really just need some guys to try to gum up the works for a while. So, yes, toss Matt on my team here.
Possibly defender of the year right now in the National Lacrosse League.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that from you.
No problem.
And then I'm going to follow that up to start off the next round. Give me Zach Manns. 20 balanced offense scoring for me. I just would rather have him on my team than going against me.
I think Zach Manns is a good pick. I think there's something to be said for it. You've kind of seen it with like the 6's tournament, but if you're playing 6's, like Olympic 6's, I think the most important stat, or one of the top 2 or 3 most important stats you use to evaluate somebody being good at it, is how good of a shooter are they and how often do they hit the net. There's no shot back up in 6's, and that's important to think about. Any shot that misses the net is the same thing as a pass out of bounds. And I think that's why it's that guys like Manns who shoot the hell out of the ball and do it very accurately, their stock goes up when you're picking guys for 6's.
Great point. And just to interject, if the ball goes out of bounds, misses the net, goes out of bounds, it's a turnover, as it should be.
All right, I'm grabbing one more defender here. I am going to take Eli Gobrecht, my next pick.
That's a
yeah.
great pick.
I'm going to take Eli Gobrecht, and that gives me, I'm up to 4 defenders now.
He's looked so good after recovering from the wrist injury. He's been great.
Yeah, healthy Eli Gobrecht has been great. Another guy who's like is excellent in the field game too. Can run the field in the field game and can run it in the indoor game, obviously. So guys who can do that damage. I started it with Terefenko, but that's kind of been my brand of defensive player that I'm trying to take.
Eli can take your 4 face-offs a game as well.
Yeah, if he's not winning, and look, if he doesn't win the first 2, Messenger's got the next 2.
All right.
I'm just not going to send anybody to the face-off dot. No, I've got Connor cursed. I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Who's up? Chris?
Yes, sir. I am back up on the board here. I'll tell you, I have not been properly going lefty.
I think it's Adam. It's Adam. Now.
Which way are we going here?
It's Adam,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Rosie went Hasek and Manns, then I went Gobrecht, and now Adam's going with his follow-up to Nantico.
So I'm gonna follow up kind of in the same line of thinking of Manns and go with a guy in Ty Kurtz. He hits the target so often. He's just continuing to improve. Again, a gritty player, unselfish, but can score. Really, really big fan of his.
That puts me up, and I'm curious because Rosie's got the Hasek brothers. I wonder if Adam is going to have a brother team as well. We will see. But I am going to. Boy, it's getting down. I've honestly got like a dozen guys I really want to add, and I can't get them all. So I feel like I need one more just scorer, just a guy who just shoots and creates. And I'm trying to decide. Well, I am going to add. I've got one in reserve, but it's so hard. I'm going to take Adam Potroy. I'm going to be very young, but another contender for Rookie of the Year. I just love his two-way game. What a terrific! I mean, he can score, especially with more space out in the field with the big nets. He's going to score a bunch. He's a great setup guy and a good gritty two-way defender. His forecheck is fantastic. And then I am going to take for as we start round 11. Probably my first Kufla guy, a former MLL player, somebody who I think has been overlooked as one of the best defensive players and transition players in the world in the NLL, was on Canada, helped them win a gold medal this year at the World Box Championships. I'm going to take Nick Tchaikovsky.
Ooh.
You know, I think it's time for me to pick a goalie, guys. I think
Well, I was gonna at this point, like if
Why?
you don't think
No, go
Rosie and I
ahead,
are
go
gonna
ahead.
do it, you could wait till the very last pick because
Don't
we've all
help
got
him.
goalies.
I'm gonna go with a guy who I think, you know, in the NLL doesn't get enough love. He's played goalie. He played goalie in Birmingham. He's been a goalie at Syracuse. I'm gonna go with Warren Hill.
He's a really good passer too, right?
And
Yep.
your last pick, sorry, Adam, was who? You had Tehoka, and then you picked somebody else.
Pick Ty
Or-
Kurt.
Ty
Yeah.
Kurtz, that's
Yeah,
what
Ty
it was.
Kurtz.
So I'll have him in
You're an
there.
Albany guy. Greg, you should have remembered.
I should have.
Oh,
That should have been an easy one for me, but. And
Ty
then-
Kurtz is a Delaware.
Yep.
Oh, Albany,
Yep.
like the pro team Albany.
Yeah,
yeah,
Albany
that's
Firewolves.
my
I'm like,
home.
he didn't go to Albany, he went to Delaware.
No, we're
Yeah,
actually, since we're doing the NLL 6's All-Star Fantasy extravaganza,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a firewolf and a blue hen.
there you go.
Um,
How good is the Blue Hens history with Kurtz and John Grant and Curtis Dixon? And, man,
Yeah,
I would
Mike
take the
Robinson.
Blue Hens in this tournament. I think.
The alumni challenge.
yeah. All right, I've got a bunch of offensive players who need the ball. I'm going to take a guy who doesn't. Give me Ryan Lee to
All right.
play as a shooter, or a scorer off the ball, or somebody there to catch feeds from all these other weapons and just bury the ball in the back of the net, who shoots incredibly well and just fills it up. Give me Ryan Lee.
All right, so Ryan Lee. Then did you pick Hasek last pick, or was it Mans?
I had after Resetarits, I had Eli Gobrecht,
Okay.
and then I have Ryan Lee now.
Now Lee. We had like 50 guys that I thought, and now you guys are really getting into the details where the guys I didn't necessarily pick. So that's why we're
We're
trying
round
to,
11, baby. Like
Yeah.
you know,
we're making it up to the to get to the back. So we got Lee up next. All right, and on the last one to make sure that I had Chris right. So Chris, you had Hasek and Mans,
Correct.
and now we're good for you for 11 and to start the last round.
Okay, let's see here. This pick, I am going to kick off with let me get Alex Simmons. Gonna put him as one of my righties, and you know, I mean, another guy. I love his creativity, produce shots. I think a lot of that's just going to come down to. I think my team is going to be heavy leaning into that strategy too. You know, you cross midfield and see if you can make something happen. So I want him in that position for me.
Love that pick for the 11th round.
I really want Chris's team. Can I trade for Chris's team?
All right, and Chris, you're up for round 12 start.
All right, and I am. You know what? I'm going to actually just give him a teammate on the other side of the ball. Put Ethan Walker, on my team on the other side there. Ethan Walker, favorite shots in lacrosse. I just love watching him shoot, and you know, veteran of both formats, indoors and outdoor year. But I've still, you know, we've seen him performing this year, and got nothing but confidence in him in a 6's format.
Adam's got a good point. That's a good team. I told Rosie, I told you that I wasn't thrilled with getting picked first. I think the 4-5 slot was the place to be, and you know, you start with Smith and Teat, and then run. That's a great team. Holy cow!
Yep.
Thanks, fellas.
Told you guys we shouldn't have let him play.
I know. All right, my last pick here. I'm going to take an offensive player. I think I have 4 righties, so I'm debating: do I want to add another righty, or do I need to throw a lefty in here, or does it even really matter for 6's? You can just run all over the place. Anyway, I think I'm going to take another righty. I'm going to take my esteemed co-host from the College Lacrosse Show and take John Donville with my last pick.
I was gonna go. If we were trying to read the scout, I was like, do I want to take him early and try to jump ahead of him? I take him. No, he's
So
I mean,
Dan-
I'm not just taking him because I host a podcast with him. I'm taking him because he's an awesome lacrosse player. Like he is, you know, he's one of the best young players in the world. And I think in the 6's format is a place where he can shine as a guy who's been an off-ball weapon and can have the ball in his stick. So give me Donville there with my last pick.
And in a hypothetical world, will you have to answer to him in the future like you did to Jack Hanna?
Oh my God. I know. They didn't even tell me that was coming. I just got ethered. It was the worst. But hey, look, if I get it wrong, I want you to tell me I got it wrong. So for those, if you don't know, Jack Hanna came on the podcast with Donville and I last week, and they started by ambushing me and telling me that I had both of them entirely too low on my PLL big board the year that they got drafted, and that I underrated both of them, and I was very mean in that regard. And I told them, look, to be fair, I was way lower on Hannah than I was on Donville. Let's just get that out of the gate to start. But I like being loud wrong. So look, if I get it wrong, I love talking to those guys and them telling me, you had me wrong. And as always, I tell them, thank you for reading. It's very nice of you. So yeah, those two ambushed me on the podcast this week, and I'm still licking my wounds.
I appreciate that because I was in the dark on that one. I'm like, what is Adam talking about?
Yeah.
Jack Hanna's an interesting one because I remember when I was doing my NLL, I do my prospects every year and I do my mock draft, and I was so waffling on Albany had the 16 pick that year, and I was thinking probably Patrick Kaschak, but I thought I wound up putting in Jack Hanna, and I had no inside information from the team, but apparently in their team meetings they said, how does Stamper know who we were thinking about taking? Because he was the other guy they were thinking of was Hannah, but they did take Kaschak, and I mean either way it's worked out pretty well, right? So we were coming down the stretch. We have 2 more picks, right?
Yep.
So that whose turn is it? Adam, any idea?
Yeah, and if I had 2 more picks, I would have just been cute and first done Adam Charlambides and then Levi Anderson, but I don't have 2 picks, but I am going to actually go with Adam Charlambides here.
So you're not going Reed Kurtz. I thought you might double up on Kurtz's.
Yeah.
Charity appreciates that because it was hard to fit Charlene Beatty's in that thumbnail. So we're very glad you guys picked him. That was worth the effort.
Charity Beecher in the background, probably doing more work than any of us.
That's true.
We're making all the name tags, all the name boards, and yeah, fitting Charlene Beatty's in with the entire name, that is very impressive. And the guy who has one of the longest names and had maybe the longest NCAA career in the sport, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that leaves it to me for the final pick, and I am so torn. I had a guy that I was going to make as a dark horse pick, and I might anyway, but I've got a lot of young players, so I'm going to go with a bit more of a veteran, a guy who I don't actually know if he's played much field lacrosse. I know he played hockey in college, but Dan, your pick of Joe Rezateris, and you said, hey, the second leading scorer in the NLL. I feel like with the NLL's leading scorer sitting on the board, I have to take Mitch Jones. And he is honestly a beast. I remember seeing him last summer at the tryouts for Canada's team for the World Box Championships. And he was, because Burns going to be there as lefty, Teat's going to be there. There's a bunch of guys. Tanner Cook was a very strong candidate, obviously, and Shane Jackson who went up. I thought Jones went out and was with Byrne and Teat as the big ball carriers for that. Jones was playing like a pick game and a grinder game, and I mean, he's so talented, right? But he will do anything, and I think he does just about everything. So I'm going to go with Mitch Jones, balance out my lefts and rights a bit, and finish things up. And those are some good teams.
Those are some good. If I didn't take Donville there, I was taking Mitch Jones. Those were the two names I was between for a righty and a lefty.
So I think it would be fun, we've got a few minutes left to wrap up this section. I think it'd be fun for everyone to say who is left on your list that is the other guy that you were thinking of taking, or a couple of guys that you, if we had a couple more rounds, would take, or you might call in for an injury replacement. We'll start with, why don't we go with Chris first from start with the back of the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a couple of guys here who, I should have figured out a way to put them on my team, just because I really wanted them on my team. First of all, Cole Kirst. I just think the format's good for him, and my team needs some glue. Just wanted him in the locker room, and Cody Jameson. I really just wanted him on my team, and I should have put him. I feel bad that I did not do it. So apologies.
He's your captain, right?
I needed some leadership there, and Cody would have been. I dropped the ball in that regard. Apologies to Cody.
And I will say, with Rosie on here, I am wearing my Moon Bears shirt. Rosie and I are fellow Moon Bears. We were on the roster for the Moon Bears at the Masters version, master's discipline of the lax night last year. I wasn't able to play. I was in concussion protocol because I was in an accident on the way home from Worlds. But so I did run a door for one of our games with my noise canceling headphones and sunglasses on, and the guys were all like, "What are you doing?" But that's why I was wearing. But Rosie got to play and did a great job, and good job, Rosie.
Sir, thank you very much.
Yeah, Dan. What are a couple of guys that you
I've got a bunch on here. Some of them were like, I don't know if I could trust this guy to do it. Like I have Dane Doby on the list, but I was just having visions of Dane running back from offense to defense and being stuck out there in 6's defense and maybe not totally trusting it. So there were guys like that.
Give up a goal.
Yeah.
That's funny yourself. I mean,
I know. So, like there's guys like that where it's like, man, is he a weapon? But I don't know if I can take him in this. I had Ryan Smith on my list. I had Thomas McConvey on my list. I had Eli McLaughlin on my list. And then I had Dawson Theed on there too. I liked the idea of a big physical offensive weapon to balance some of the guys who I have who don't play the same way, right? Like Lyle and Connor Fields, like those guys aren't going to put their shoulder into you and bulldoze you. They're going to play a leverage game, but they're not going to just knock you to the ground. So I had Dawson Theed on the list too as a possibility. And then Ryan Lanchbury I had on the list as a possibility too, just because he feels his scoring is off the charts this year.
You could have taken Theed and Doby and watched them both run back and play D.
Again, I'm winning 30-28, baby. That's my team.
Right? There you go. All right, Adam.
Yeah, I had Ryan Lanchbury on my list. I also had Holden Garland on my list as well, and Will Malcolm as well. I great scorer, really fast.
Yeah, I had all those guys up near the top of my list as well. I also had Matt Gilray, one of the best transition players in the NLL. Another young guy, Will Johansson, Jake Stevens, guys like that. But a couple of my kind of deep dive picks, I was thinking Taylor Jensen in Rochester.
I was literally just thinking that.
Yeah, he's been awesome. He is so good. And I was going to go if Mitch Jones hadn't been there at the end, I was going to go Torrin Eccleston because he has been electric in the half dozen games he has played in the NLL.
We did have a card for him, Stamper, so that would have been a perfect pick for us. I was expecting somebody to take him, actually. I've been very impressed watching him.
Sorry, Greg and Charity.
I thought somebody might take New Philadelphia wing Mitch DeSnoo. I was wondering if people would take Mitch DeSnoo.
Yeah, he's on my list too.
It's going to be interesting to see how he does in Philly for sure. But also give it a couple years, and Levi Anderson is really developing into a great player.
Yeah. You know, another deep dive guy that I was thinking about going with, another Kufla All-Canadian guy, multiple-time All-Canadian, is Colton Armstrong from Halifax. He would be fantastic in this format. Great runner, sturdy defender, great finisher.
Yeah, and nobody took Thomas Hogarth. Nobody took Thomas Hogarth, who I think would have made sense for this too. Rosie, I was looking at all the Halifax guys, and I was like, Rosie's going to take all the birds, so I'm just not going to put him on my list.
I was in a tricky spot where I kind of wanted to take all of them, but then I thought, well, who am I going to inherently overvaluing in the format under birds? And that probably ended up with me taking fewer than I wanted to take. So, from a GM standpoint, I'm okay with my team, but from a sentimental GM standpoint, I'm very much myself.
So next steps, I think, is we got to figure something out where we let people vote on which of these teams is going to win and which of the three of you is going to come second.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
We'll do that. We'll get it up. I mean, we're gonna share this on Inside Lacrosse. I should mention. I mean, we're all kind of inside. I'm the editor for IL Indoor. Adam writes for us. Chris Rosenthall writes for Inside Lacrosse regularly, and Dan Arestia is just a man of everything in the lacrosse world. But you are an IL guy as well.
An occasional IL contributor, yes.
Yeah.
We will
so, and what are you wearing?
Still on this, that way everybody.
With my fantasy GM powers, I'm bringing back the Connecticut Hammerheads. So congratulations to Josh, to Ryan, to Lyle, everybody, on being the newest iteration of the Connecticut Hammerheads.
Nice. You can call your team that. That's cool.
I have to get the outdoor folks to sell me the rights to call my team this, but once they do, we will be the Hammerheads.
Pretty sure you could just rent them.
We're gonna need team names for all of you guys, though. Actually, so that way when we
We'll
make
come
the
up with team
graphics
names.
to post, we're gonna need some sweet team names.
Okay.
I might just go Moon Bears.
It doesn't seem. I mean, that's kind of lazy, Stamper. I mean, you talked about it already. We need something creative.
Lazy? The Moon Bears? A Moon Bear is nothing if not lazy.
Yeah, I like it.
I
That's a
think that
good
sentence just went off the rails.
No, I love it. Thank you guys so much. I learned a lot with this. Some of the guys, I mean, really, most of the guys we had, once we got into the defense, I had the entire Albany Firewolves defense because when they're playing great, they're the only ones that deserve to be up there. But no, I was not. I have to say, I was very surprised at how different all of you guys looked at the picks, though. Like Stamper start with the goalie. I honestly think Dane Smith would have been my first pick, so I was very surprised he dropped down to the to the bottom for Chris to pick him in the first. But yeah, other than that, most of what you guys picked kind of made sense to me. But the that first one, I'm a big goalie guy, you know that, Stamper. And Matt Vince not being on, I get he doesn't play field, but he's just that good. Give it to him. Give him a stick. He'll go out there and do it.
You know, he's a long pole in field across there,
That's
right?
fine. So he can play goalie. Just give him the long pole. I bet you he doesn't even need a goalie stick. He's that good.
I'll tell you what, we'll let you pick a team of anybody else that you like, and I feel pretty good going up against you when you've got Matt Vince in net. Matt Vince is a great goalie, but he doesn't play field goalie, so let him put on the NLL gear and give him an NLL net, and then we're talking.
Yeah, things are much
Okay.
better. Are we doing the picks and stuff with Adam afterwards?
Yeah, we're going to do that after. We're going to wrap up this segment. We'll come back and quickly do our picks for the week. But I just want to say thanks so much to Chris Rosenthall and Dan Arestia for joining us. It was an absolute blast. We pulled this together fairly quickly once Adam brought the idea to us, and it's been so much fun.
Thanks so
guys,
much for having me, man. This was awesome. I'm thrilled you guys asked me to do it. I love this kind of stuff. So happy to be here and to pick the winning team. And, it's a special honor. So
You're picking my team?
And I feel like we should call this the inaugural 6's draft. So this is not a one-off thing. This has been awesome, Dan. Really appreciate you guys.
Sure,
It'd be great to have you on board.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of me. Always nice to be to join in on something like this. In all forms, and it's cool to do in the 6's. I'm a big fan of the format as well. So yeah, I know this was a lot of fun. Congratulations to my entire team. I will be notifying all of them.
They've already won.
I think they have. They're all winning. So.
And I will throw this out, and I'm not actually even kidding, is that in the future, I think it would be a fantastic idea if the National Lacrosse League actually did this. Bring it back as the All-Star game, All-Star activity, All-Star weekend, and make this happen. Have or have us pick them. I think we could pick them. or have some.
I think what we just picked would be a hell of an all-star weekend.
It would. Wouldn't that be fantastic? How much fun would that be?
We picked the guys who would be all-stars. So
yeah, we get together, have the All-Star weekend, and actually do this. Take a weekend off and play like 3 days. You play a round robin between the 4 teams, and then you have a championship game where the Moon Bears will defeat the Hammerheads, say, or maybe the Rosies or the Levis. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think it would be a real blast. So NLL, let's do this for real. But for the time being, this is the inside the world of box lacrosse NLL All-Star Fantasy Extravaganza 6's Fest. I'll work on the name. And that's it. Thanks so much, Dan and Chris, again, for being with us. And thanks, Lacrosse friends. We're going to take a quick break for about a minute. We'll come back. Adam and I will do our picks in the, as we like to call it, humiliate the host section. And we're going to break.